Hey guys, so welcome back to part 2 of the series, which is what it takes to be an EMT, as you can tell by the title. So, just to give you a background, I'm 20 years old. I've been an EMT for 2 years, and from what I've seen, there are different perspectives, there are different work ethics, there are different morals, there are different standard procedures. I might use that word a lot throughout this video. Standard procedures, or phrase, I should say. So, the difference between transport and 911, because there are two different sides to the emergency service field. One is the medical transport, one is the 911 transport. And sometimes both can go hand in hand. Transport can overlap with 911, 911 can overlap with transport. It's happened on occasion, you know. So to begin, I'll define the terms. For transport EMT, it's non-medical transport, which is transport to dialysis, doctor's appointments, same-day surgical procedures, or long-term care discharge out of the hospital, things of those nature. Now, a 911 EMT on the other side, of course, then would be the one who, when you pick up the phone and call 911, they dispatch it out to whoever's in your local township, whoever's in your local city. So for Waterford, it'd be Waterford EMS. For Berlin, it'd be Berlin EMS. For you Pennsylvania folks, for Philly, it'd be Philly EMS. For Reading, I'm pretty sure Reading has their own different name for EMS. Now, for transport companies in Jersey, you have people like TRICARE, Capital Health. You have, sorry, I just zoned out for a second. You have Inspira down a little bit further south in Millville, New Jersey. That's where they're based out of. You have Gem Ambulance. You have TransUnit. They're up and coming. They're okay. They need to strengthen a lot more of their skills. Anyhow, so there's things like that. And TRICARE, GEM, Capital Health, Inspira, those companies, Inspira does 911 on some parts of Millville, but that's another story. We'll get into that in a second, because where I work in Waterford, New Jersey, we do transport and 911. I'm mostly a transport EMT, but I have had my share of 911. I did 911 way before I did transport for a long time. So anyhow, now that I've defined those terms, I'm going to tell you what it's like. Now, in the 911 side, you have usually your fair share of just 911 seniors who have been there for years and years. Then you have 911 people who do 911 and transport to supplement what the 911 doesn't bring up. That's me. I do a lot more of transport to make up for the 911 side, because we have just our regular basic 911 EMTs that just handle 911 or do transport a little bit on the side. So what does it take? It's a struggle every day, sometimes depending on the week, because for those really brutal 911 calls, like the bloody calls, where people have maybe fallen off of their roof and there's broken bones, or what we call cardiac arrest. Now, if you guys don't know that term, you're about to get informed. So cardiac arrest is when somebody drops to the floor. Not only have they stopped breathing, but you can no longer feel a heartbeat. And the best way to check right now, I'll show you guys, just in case it ever happens, God forbid, you take your pointer finger and your middle finger along the side of the thumb, either side. You will feel a vein. You want to take, like I said, your middle finger and your pointer finger of whatever opposite hand, go right about there. So there's a vein that runs straight down through the center. Just off to the left a little bit is where your hand should be for your left hand, or just off to the right. That's where your fingers should be. And if you can't feel it right away, that's okay. Lightly press press just a little bit harder or position your hand. And you'll have to double check a couple of times as well. I think somebody's home. I think my tenant's home. Anyhow, that can happen. You can get those calls some days, and it can vary from week to week about how you'll feel about that week. The thing is, if you're not working in a big city or for a big company, or even if you are sometimes, you might not make a lot of money. So the thing is, you have to be in it for 1 second. Like I was saying, you can't just be in it for the money. If you're not getting paid a lot of people are just in it for the money, which at my job especially, you don't make that much. So you have to be in it for the people. It's just like being a teacher, and we do have a lot of EMTs that are instructors, a lot of paramedics in this field, and nurses and doctors that are instructors specifically for EMS, because it is so big. But the main part about it that a lot of people don't understand is if you're not treating your patient properly, or whoever is in your care at that time, not only can you just not have a great experience with that patient during the time, but you can also look at somebody the wrong way, say the wrong thing at the wrong time, but because they don't like you, they could take that and make a complaint, and that can make your life hell. So my thing is, personally, what it takes to be an EMT or a paramedic or a nurse or anything, it's just about your attitude. You have to have a decent personality, and if you don't, fake it till you make it, honestly, because to be in this field, you have to just act at least like you're genuine. I genuinely try to be genuine. That was a weird way of putting it, but you see my point. I can be very personable, but there are some days where I'm just like, F this, F that. I don't want to deal with anything anymore. It's not worth it. But I have to pick myself back up, because that person who is in my care, and this is what a lot of people don't realize either, people who can be in your care, sometimes the only experience they can have that's going to be good, if they're coming out of assisted living or even from home with their family who takes care of them 24/7, those people might not be the best in the world, might not treat them the best. So if you can make somebody stay, I say hell, go for it. Whether it's your friend, your family, or if you're in the healthcare field, your patient, or if you're in sales, for crying out loud, your customer. Because when you think of it, healthcare is just like a business. And unfortunately, that's what we have to compare it to nowadays. Your patient is your customer. If you don't take care of your customer well, they're not going to buy something from you. If you don't treat them with the utmost respect, they might not buy something from you, honestly, unless they're in desperate need or really, want to get something. But it's just like with healthcare. If you're not treating your patient properly, how are they going to treat you? More than likely, they're not going to treat you like peaches and cream. They're not going to treat you like you're the sweetest thing in the world. So, it takes personality. And it takes a genuine personality and character. Because if you don't have established good character, you're not going to be looked at. And you might get a bad reputation too, not only amongst your patients, but amongst your peers, your coworkers, your partners, whoever's out there. So just be mindful of that. This goes out to anybody who's thinking of being an EMT or a paramedic or anything in the healthcare field. This also goes out to the ones who are already in and need to refresh their brains as to why they're in the business to begin with. Because honestly, if you're coming from an assisted living facility, especially on the transport side for us, or even 911 sometimes, and you don't have a great attitude, we're pretty sure, given me and my partner or whoever's going out there to pick up the patient, whether it be a 911 or a transport call for a doctor's appointment, doesn't matter. If you're not treating us properly, you're probably not treating your patient properly. We just had several issues with 2 places that we go to on a regular basis and absolutely hate. We loathe going to those places because of how bad it is. So, that's my piece. Like, subscribe, and comment. Keep on rocking. And just remember, refresh your brain. If you're not going to have good character or good personality, don't get into this field for the money. it's not worth it. You're going to hate your life and you're going to regret it, and everybody around you is going to feel that. They're going to feel your water. So, see you guys later. Bye. Love ya.